Okay, this is gonna round out the first group of videos that I'm doing. Here we're gonna make the asset browser and import process for assets into Unreal. It's just going to move the files in. I'm not actually gonna work on the skeleton handling, for rigged assets yet. I'll get to that later. I plan on making, I think, some sort of config manager inside of Unreal, or I don't know, look at some better logic based on my directory structure, because it kind of can be used to infer skeletons. I just am not sure that I want to put complete faith in that, because you may want to be doing something custom. I don't know. More controls usually good, but not always. And so here I'm just trying to replace the coming soon logo thingy that I had made before with getting a blank widget running. And then, much like the last video, I think, which was the asset browser for Maya. Oh no, that was 2 videos ago. Doing the same thing here pretty much. And it's, again, a bit of a cheat in that I'm trying to record as much of the code writing that I'm doing, but all my IO libraries I kind of have and just kind of hop from project to project, and so I do that again here. And here I'm also realizing that I had the wrong Python copy pointed for the interpreter. I was using Maya, so I wasn't actually using my venv and did not have PySide in it, so Unreal didn't understand what to do and had to fix that real quick. And also setting up a little test thing to re-import the UI every time I click the button, just so that way then I don't have to restart the program. All right, and so there's the blank widget. We've got that parented to the Unreal window. And now I can get to work on setting up the column manager for this browser. So there's an abundance of options that you can have when importing. I don't think I care about like half of them. But I've written stuff in a way that I could add those as parameters later. I just don't like removing degenerate tries or changing the way that you compute normals on import and stuff like that. And I don't know how it's going to look because I've sped everything up, but eventually I'll get to the IO library and I very briefly kind of go over stuff, and I can make a more in-depth overview of it. But for the IO library for Unreal, for getting assets in, I have one for batching textures, one for skeletal meshes, and one for static meshes. And I don't remember. I think I have something for animations. I'm pretty sure. It's been quite a while since I've actually had to work with animations, so I just don't recall. But yeah, again, normally, or the normal sort of pattern, and I've said it like 4 times already throughout the various previous videos, doing the construction first and then separating front end and back end functions, and within the construction pass doing the create widgets, create layout, create connections. I just think it's a great way to organize these classes, so that way then one, if you hop into the code base and you look at any of them, you kind of have an idea about how to go about navigate the file, and also it's just really organized, I found. All right, so the columns and the basic inputs are in. Here I'm just hooking up the thumbnail, which we save out with the asset publisher from Maya. And a little bit of front-end formatting. If you've ever done any sort of CSS work, then you know how frustrating it is. Things just don't justify or clip to the right edge and can be very annoying. What I probably should do is put in each of them. There's an event that Qt has on its widgets that when you close, maybe it's on main windows, I can't remember, but when you close the widget, you can run a function, and I could save out the geometry of it and then when you open the widget, if a save file for that widget exists, like get the aspect ratio and size, geometry values, whatever it is, and reset the UI to that. So here I'm on the last column. On each of these, you always have to do a little bit of logic for the last column, because you don't have to populate a column to the right, and you need to, at which point, if you've gotten to there, the user has entered all the values that they want as far as building the path goes. So just setting that up and being able to get the texture preview. And then here, importing the asset. I'm thinking for environment assets, there'll be static meshes, and for just about anything else, it'll be a rigged mesh. I might come back to this and set something else up later to make it a bit more in depth, but for now, it's going to be as simple as that. If there is a type of static mesh that isn't environment, I might have to come up with some sort of category for it or something. I'm not quite sure what that would be. I guess like bullets or something, projectiles maybe, and that could go into a prop category or something like that. I'm sure like I could just make some other category that is a catch-all for it, but in category meaning like basically just a folder, how I'm organizing the assets. And yeah, so we get where the asset's coming from, where the asset is going to go in the project, the location offset, the rotation offset, the uniform scale offset. If there's a skeleton, put that in, and whether or not we want to merge the static meshes. And I think there might be one more. No, I think that's all the imports, or all the parameters for importing, and just hooking those up, getting them from the UI, and there we go.